This is the Barbados Today afternoon news for Tuesday, May 8th. Thank you for joining us. I am Marie-Claire Williams. Our top story this afternoon, over 3,400 primary school students are today sitting the Barbados Secondary School's entrance exam. Earlier this morning, the Frederick Smith Secondary School was a hive of activity. Students from St. Albans Primary, Good Shepherd Primary, Welch's Primary, St. Silas Primary and St. James Primary filed through the gates from as early as 7:30. Principals and teachers wished their students good luck as they prepared for the exam that will determine the secondary school that they attend in September. Some students at Welch's Primary said they had prepared for the exam and were ready.
Just keeping calm and revising and doing tests.
Lots of practice tests.
Lots of practice. Especially Benko.
What did mommy and daddy tell you this morning before you came here?
Try not to be nervous.
Good luck.
I'm feeling okay.
What's the expectation? What school you would like to go to?
Coming here
Why you coming here?
because that's the closest school.
And over at the Springer Memorial School and the St. Michael's School, parents and teachers had been speaking about the students' preparations for the big day.
Well, they've been very well prepared. They've been working tirelessly for the last few years, especially the last year, giving up their weekends, sometimes their holidays, all in preparation for this big day. So I believe that they are ready.
And how has the school been preparing them? Any extra lessons?
Yes, the teachers have been given extra lessons in class 4. We'd also asked other teachers to assist wherever they could to just give a little extra as they were able to, and the children have had good support.
I'm a little nervous, but I am confident that my daughter will do well because at Charles F. Broome they complete the syllabus by class 3, and in class 4 is just revision, and they do mock exam every Tuesday since the term started back, so she should got the know-how.
I am feeling a bit nervous, but I always do put God first, and I told my child to put God first.
Challenging in a way, sometimes she would like to do it and then she wouldn't like to do it, but I must thank Miss Francis from George Lammy's school who really work with the children, really motivate them. So I must thank her very much, and everybody from the class seems to be very, very comfortable.
In other news this afternoon, as Barbadians prepare to vote for a new government, the Barbados Economics Society will this week host a national debate on the economy. It will be held on Thursday under the theme Plans for Economic Adjustment Post-General Elections. The BAS says the forum will allow political parties contesting the May 24th poll to discuss their plans and objectives for macroeconomic development.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
One night, one winner, only one team can deliver. Balance, comprehensive, unrivaled coverage. Barbados Today, Capital Media HD 99.3 and 6 Gear Studios. Don't miss election night on www.facebook.com/Barbados Today, on www.barbadostoday.bb, live on www.capitalmediahd.com, and on www.facebook.com/Capital Media HD.
Thank you for staying with us. We're back with news from the region. Government and opposition lawmakers in St. Vincent are to meet later this month to resume debate on legislation that the main opposition says is aimed at unseating its leader, Dr. Goodwin Friday. Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves denies suggestions that the reference bill is intended to use a backdoor approach to remove the Privy Council as the island's highest court. He said the legislation merely gives a legal standing to an agreement reached by government and opposition lawmakers in January. St. Lucia's Prime Minister Alan Chasney has announced plans to pass legislation for healthcare insurance. He made the announcement at yesterday's pre-cabinet news conference. We get the details in this report from HTS News.
Healthcare has dominated the news cycle for the past months, and in particular, the state of healthcare the St. Jude reconstruction saga, the cost, and the question of whether to privatize the Owen King EU Hospital or not. The medical fraternity has been tirelessly voicing their concerns over the state of healthcare, with members of the Medical and Dental Association making at least 3 appearances on local talk shows in the past week. Apart from a lack of transparency, critics have also accused the Alan Chastney administration of a perceived lack of a clear or coherent healthcare policy. On Monday, Chastney told reporters that Cabinet has never wavered on its positions. One he says is that Cabinet has accepted the proposal to statutize the OKEU. The second proposal, according to him, was an increase in NIC contributions,
which currently is at 10%. The proposal was to move it to 15%. Cabinet was not in agreement with that because we felt that while that might be able to generate sufficient funds to be able to cover the healthcare cost, but it would not make it accessible by the average solution. So people who currently don't have access to healthcare, by putting on the NIC contribution and improving the quality of the hospitals, they're still not going to have access. So it becomes a matter of affordability. And it's for that reason that Cabinet has been now moving to introduce a national healthcare insurance policy. So what we want to do is we want to create a system where every single solution, let me repeat that, every single solution will have healthcare insurance in this country.
On the international scene, reports say U.S. President Donald Trump has told his French counterpart, Emmanuel Macron, that he plans to pull out of the international nuclear agreement with Iran. We get the details in this Reuters report.
Multiple sources say it appears that U.S. President Donald Trump has already made up his mind to pull out of the Iran deal. He's expected to officially announce his decision today, but that doesn't mean the deal is just going to go away. Because France has said that it, along with allies Britain and Germany, will remain in the deal regardless of what Trump does. They say the deal has helped keep nuclear weapons out of Iran's hands, and that weakening it further would only serve to aggravate the region where Iran already has many enemies and has a military footprint in Syria, Iraq, Yemen, and Lebanon.
What we can do is be tougher on them in other respects.
On Monday, British Foreign Minister Boris Johnson was the latest official from the European allies to visit Washington in last-ditch efforts to save the deal, after France's president and the German chancellor in the last 2 weeks.
Can build around the deal a superstructure, if you like, of agreements, tackle the ICBMs, tackle the interference that they're engaging in countries in the region.
A senior U.S. official said the Europeans had moved significantly to address Trump's concerns, which include the fact that the deal doesn't address Iran's ballistic missile program. What effect those moves may have is unclear. Iran's President Hassan Rouhani, meanwhile, says that his country will continue domestic development even if it's hit with more sanctions. Iran's currency is trading at record lows against the dollar, as analysts fear more sanctions will hurt the country's already troubled economy.
And finally, clowns in a Mexican resort town on Monday marched down a central street demanding an end to the city's crime wave. Dressed in white and carrying signs marked peace, they said they were tired of so much violence. The clowns complained that they were losing business because residents no longer threw parties out of fear of becoming targets of crime. 100 people were killed in the resort town in April alone. Officials say they recorded almost 50 more murders in the first 3 months of 2018 than the same period last year. And that's news this afternoon. Remember, you can get more on our website, www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also sign up for BT's WhatsApp news updates, and you can subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, and like us on Facebook. We're also on Izumi Media in bus terminals and Screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. You can also find us on Mix 96.9 FM. I am Mary Claire Williams. Good afternoon.